Paul Pogba. For me, I think you lot are so much better with the boy, man. Seriously, man. What's going to happen with this boy? Is he staying? Is he going?
He ain't going to stay. I've been telling you this for about 6 months. He ain't staying.
I was going to say Wayne Rooney. I'm hearing rumours, that you were the person who squashed the issue between him and Ronaldo.
Yeah, I don't know if I squashed it. I think they've done that by themselves together, but I was the one who got them together. I think Cristiano pulled me and said, "Ree, can you go and get Wayne? Like, I just want to talk to him and tell him that I didn't mean anything by it. If it's not, there's no like animosity or malice in what I've done."
Who do you reckon is the closest player you would compare yourself to? That's a sick question, by the way, Joe. Flipping it, Joe.
Sokin.
They can never do it like I. When you see man pull up and slide, man stepped in a room with legends, Rio and Steve, you know it's a vibe. Check the podcast, what you wanna know? Don't ask me, go and ask Joe. If you're talking Premier League, he's on the front line and I gotta go. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. Vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know this.
We want to give a massive shout out to our show sponsors, Sokin. Love you guys. Trusted by Arsenal, Everton, Fulham, AS Monaco, with 120,000 customers around the globe. Payments and international money transfers, that's what they do. If you're sick of being overcharged for sending and spending money overseas, Sokin is 51% cheaper on global money transfers. Go to Sokin.com, open your free account, and start making serious savings now. Shout out to our competition winner. A couple weeks ago, I asked you, can you let us know when the 5 digital platform channel was created? And Levy Man UK, the winner, said the channel started in April 2009, but I think Vibe with 5 wasn't created until 2020. I've downloaded the app and obviously I already follow 5 on socials. Screenshots ready, whatever, my guy. You are the winner. Enjoy one of the games. Let us know what one you want us to go to. And yeah, we're going to be doing the same competition this week, so make sure you get in the comments and let us know what date was it that Rio made his first Premier League appearance for West Ham. Waiting to hear, guys. Speak to you soon. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this week's episode of Vibe with 5. It feels as if we ain't done this for a while, you know, Rio.
Well, last time we was here, I think we had Mark Noble. So there's a bit of a different setup, wasn't it? That went well. But if you haven't seen that interview, go and check it out on the YouTube channel on 5. It's blinding.
Yeah, banger of an interview. Obviously, we got here Stephen Howson in his bedroom. You know what I mean? Bigging up Marcus Rashford.
Whoa. Don't be disrespecting like that. I don't record in my bedroom.
You don't, is it not?
No, it's Zach.
All
okay.
right, cool.
In the office.
In the office. The office. Hey,
Seriously,
well done for, you know, the Mark Noble interview. That was some really good questions there, you know. I was watching it back because, you know, when you're watching it, you're kind of in the moment, do you know what I mean? But I look back and I thought, wow, like loads of good questions. He gave us brilliant insight as well.
Yeah, I think it's nice when we every now and again we get a player on current player as well, which is really good, which adds a bit of spice to it. But when they give us those little nuggets and those little experiences that they're going through, and I'm the same. I'm asking, what's actually going on in the change room these days? Like in that situation when transfers are coming through, how are the players reacting? Are they like us fans?
Yeah.
And you can tell by the response of Mark and the insight he gives us, like they're just like the fans and they have feeling. There is emotion that goes with playing still, as much as people try and doubt that and question it. So there's a lot of good stuff to come out of that. I loved it.
Yeah, and there's loads of publications that loved it as well. Like obviously the traditional papers, but even the social papers like Sport Bible, they were on it, man, like messaging us. So yeah, make sure you check it out. But I want to focus on the FA Cup this week. All right. So
look at the smile on his face.
The Forever Arsenal Cup. Obviously, this year it's not Arsenal's Cup, but you guys went through it a little bit during the course of the week, losing to Middlesbrough on penalties.
Yeah,
man,
it was
Rio. I didn't hear from you. You know, it was quiet in the group chat. Steve was ill. You know,
I went off WhatsApp for a couple of hours or a couple of days. Sorry. But that's what happens. That's football. Football sometimes it disables you on WhatsApp sometimes because with the way situations unfold. And if you look at the stats we've got them in front of us here, Man United absolutely dominated the game.
No, they did.
And it just goes to show you don't finish your chances or punish teams when you're on top. You get sucker punched, and Man United did in the end. But you have to say well done to Chris Wilder, who we've had on the show before. Yeah. Great guy. Now just had an opportunity to go Middlesbrough and he's doing some wonderful things there. So long may that continue for him. But if I've got my Man United hat on, I was very, very, very down this weekend.
Steve, 30 shots for United, 6 for Middlesbrough, 9 on target for United, 3 for Middlesbrough. Possession was 71-29. United had loads of the ball with almost 1,000 passes. I mean, what the heck happened? Like Ronaldo, Bruno not eating their dinner, not finishing their food. Talk to me, man.
What? People aren't going to want to talk about it, but I actually thought there was a lot of really good one-touch play. And I know the opposition plays into that sometimes, but it actually looked like United had worked on some stuff and was playing like that. I haven't seen that for a minute at United. One-touch stuff with movement off the ball. And I was like, oh, I'm liking this. I am liking this. I don't think it was a perfect performance, obviously. And I thought it was just encouraging. We're in a bit of a slump, aren't we, at the minute? Confidence is low. Everything's not quite clicking. There's things going on and off the pitch. So it was nice to see a little bit of positivity in the play. And then you're like, all right, we missed the penalty. Keep going. It's all right. We're making chances. All right, we just did the post. No keeper in the net. All right, let's keep going. Like, it'll come. And then as soon as it gets to 90 minutes, you're like, yeah, we're going out here.
Yeah, but Steve, I got to disagree with you there, man, because don't get me wrong, you guys it was cruise control. Like I was watching the game, I was just thinking it should go United's way. But when I started seeing opportunities not being finished, I thought you're going to get punished here, you know?
That's football as well. I have to agree with Steve. I think there was some positive to take from put the result to one side. Which is sometimes hard to do. But you put the result to one side and just look at it from a performance perspective. There were some things that were quite positive. I think, especially the first half, is probably the most cohesive performance I've seen from Man United under this regime for that 45 minutes, bar the chances not being converted. But I think that, like Steve said, the approach play, you see the likes of Sancho coming in.
He did good.
He done well.
Yeah,
and it's about time he got some time. And the game actually played to his strengths a little bit, like you spoke about one-touch football, some passing and movement, some rhythm in the team. If there's no rhythm in the team, Sancho's not as good, not as effective. I think once the team's got rhythm and is set up, and sorry, I'm changing subject here, but that's been, I think, what his problem's been, Sancho at Man United. The players sometimes have got to identify what he's actually good at, what his traits are. I think a lot of people expected Sancho to be someone that comes in and will be able to take the ball from the edge of his box to the goal. That's not his game. He's very much about rhythm, one-touch passing, playing and moving, and then getting people off balance with a little bit of a feint, and then playing and going and following. And he hasn't been able to do that because the system at Man United has been something that hasn't worked yet, and they haven't found a rhythm in that. So it's kind of left him in a vulnerable position in that state. I think he joins another team who have got a lockdown way of playing, a true understanding that, is a possession-based team. He thrives.
Don't you think, though, with him as well, though, when he was at Dortmund, he had Haaland, man. Like, that's a dynamic player right there, man. I reckon, obviously, this year you guys have had Ronaldo playing up front. Like, don't you think it's a little bit different? Like, it's hard of, like, those guys, they're young boys when they're playing at Dortmund. With Ronaldo, it's a little bit more stiffer. It has to be on the plate.
Yeah, I think that's a bit harsh. I just feel that I think it's more about the structure of the team. I think the Borussia Dortmund team had a way of playing that was fundamental in allowing these players to perform at their best. Whereas Man United have invested in some players, but still are searching for an identity and a philosophy and a way of playing. So that makes it then difficult for the players that are coming in, let alone the players that are still there. So it's a very different situation. I don't think it's down to youth and pace and willingness to run, etc. Like you said there. I just think it's the system is the overriding factor and of the way of playing. Man United haven't found that identity yet, and it's not come through in performances enough yet. Would you agree, Steve?
Yeah, I also think that you're comparing a very dynamic player in Haaland to a no longer that dynamic player in Ronaldo. It's apples and oranges. It's not.
But that's what I'm saying, though, Steve. Like, I'm not.
But you've also got,
Hold on, can I just jump in there, please? If you look at the data in terms of ground covered and high intensity sprints, Ronaldo is always top 4, top 5, maybe top 5 at worst. But he's in the top echelon of players in terms of high intensity runs in this team. Distance covered, maybe not, but high intensity runs, 100%. So
I'm not digging Ronaldo out here.
No, but what I'm saying, when people start saying that, he's an old laboured footballer, you can't judge Ronaldo based on his age. He's a different specimen, a different animal.
Yeah.
So you can't pigeonhole him and box him into that. oh, he's an OAP player. No. Go and look at his data in high-intensity sprints, in and around, especially the final third. He's up there competing with young whippersnappers.
He also had a Kimi at right back behind him, which is a massive thing. At the start of his United career, he's had Wan-Bissaka. Let's not compare those two as footballers. Even Dalot looks like a massive upgrade on what he was having previously. If he'd have had someone like Hakimi alongside him on that right-hand side, again, his settling-in process might have been easier. The Bundesliga is a league which lends itself to having a bit more open football. Teams don't quit on you as easily in the Premier League, I don't think. And I think there's a lot more time and space on the ball. I think there's a lot more desire to see technical football in Bundesliga, whereas in England, it's still got a lot of a hangover of almost like a Championship League at times, where it's very physical. It can be all about competing. And I think he'll settle and he'll be fine. But you got to remember, this season was his first ever taste of top-flight English football. He might have been an English player and he might have come through the academies here, but he didn't debut here. He debuted in Germany.
It's funny.
It's that adaptation.
It's funny, Steve, because I hear what you're saying. Like, it was good to see, like, you saw some rhythm in your play for your team and stuff. But it's Middlesbrough, man. No disrespect to them, but that's what I expect.
It's also Chris Wilder, who's a pain in our ass.
Yeah, he knows how to play against Man United teams. But
Rio, on that interview, there's only 4 people who've seen that interview, by the way. Never went out.
But you know what? The mad thing is, is that I know what you're saying. Oh, it's Man United against Middlesbrough, but it's where Man United are now.
Nah, but come on.
Man United's reputation and history suggests something different, but you've got to take that away right now.
It's too much of a gap, man. That's a Championship team right there. Fair enough, they might be in the Premier League.
But the FA Cup always throws out upsets. Always.
I hear that. I mean, come on, we suffered against Nottingham Forest, but still, do you know what I mean? They beat Leicester as well. Do you know what I mean? They're doing their job, man. But I don't know, man. I still expect more from Man United. I mean, look.
We all do.
We're not here to dig out players. You know what I mean? I'm not. No, but I'm just honest. Like, if I'm seeing Bruno miss an open goal like that, like at that level, you should be wrapping it up, man. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Yeah, I know you're not trying to call him. I know what it is, but I've got to say it as it is.
Ronaldo missed a penalty.
There you go.
Bruno misses a good chance like that.
Yeah.
They could talk about a number of people that miss chances, but
30 shots, only one went in.
It happens, man.
30 shots.
But that's an area they've got to improve on, and I think they understand that. But Man United, it's just where they're at the moment. You know what I mean? You're sitting there thinking, going to any game at the moment, and I'm not sure what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So that's what they'll be working on. That's what needs to change. An important factor that I've been talking about and recent shows is not having enough time on the training field. Now, we heard Ralph Rangnick speak the other day in his press conference and said that he's had some good time on the training pitch. Hopefully now we'll see an uplift.
Yeah.
Can we move on, please?
No. Real quick. No. The people want to come in and hear what Rio has to say about United, bro.
Man United page.
Okay. Now he doesn't want to talk about Man United. Paul Pogba. Listen, I know you didn't really want to talk about this too much, but for me, I think you lot are so much better with the boy, man. Like, I said,
really?
Pardon?
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, obviously. Listen, I said to my boy, I was like, do you reckon Paul's having a good game? And through his eyes, he goes to me, he's all right. I'm like, I bet you after the game, you check his stats and there's some top class stuff going on there. Yes, it's Middlesbrough, but I bet you when you check. And what's the stats? After the game, I thought to myself, where is it?
Near the top there.
Yeah, there. 100% successful dribbles, 86% pass accuracy, 48 passes completed, 8 ball recoveries, 4 successful long passes, 1 penalty won. Like, I know we talk about this in Gazzetta della Fabia, but seriously, man, what's going to happen with this boy? Is he staying? Is he going? Do you want to see him staying? Talk to me, Steve.
He ain't going to stay. Been telling you this for about 6 months. He ain't staying. You don't get into the final year of your contract with all of the wait and see sort of talk going on and fluttering your eyelids at all clubs across Europe the way he has done. United needed to have been way stronger than they have been on this, and they've just allowed it to get to the point now where he's 4 months away. He had a great game, right? He invariably does. People love to revise Paul Pogba's history at United and say he's had like 5 good games. You're off your head. He's been a good player for us. Maybe not been the £90 million signing that we thought, but he's been a good player for us. Certainly wouldn't necessarily call him a flop. He's a top footballer. That's never been the question around Paul Pogba. his commitment to the cause.
I think he is, Steve. If
and
you
the
ask Graham
circus
Souness, he'll
around
tell
him.
you that. Graham will tell you there's a question about his footballing ability.
Who will?
Graham Souness.
Okay.
Go on, carry on.
I think the issue around Pogba has been the circus around will he stay or will he go, and his agency. And that for me is just, you don't need that. Rio obviously works with an agency. You don't see them stirring up Miver all the time, constantly causing speculation about are their clients going to move left, right, and Chelsea. That's not how it works. You can represent a footballer without being a pain in the arse like Raiola is. That's the circus around him. It's never been about him as a footballer. I would welcome Paul Pogba as a footballer all day long, but I'm bored of the circus.
I think we all are, to be honest with you.
I just think in all these situations, you just want clarity. You want to know, as a fan, where your players stand, where their flag is being put. Are you on our side, or are you in the middle? Or are you thinking about going over there? Just give us a little bit of insight. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I know from a player's point of view, it's very difficult. But what Steve's talking about there is that when an agent then comes in and muddies the water even more and antagonises situations, then that leaves fans and that player, it leaves the fans very bitter, but also the uncertainty and the antagonising makes the player look in a bad light.
Were you ever in a situation where your agent wanted you to, we're not saying that Paul's done this, but where your agent had you looking a little bit funny or?
No, the only thing is, listen, my agent was under no, he was certain of one thing. You don't talk for me. Yeah, you don't talk for me in the public unless I say. So there's no way that there would have been mad quotes coming out from Peenies and Harvey saying this, that, and the other, unless I would have said, okay, you can say that. And we don't know where Paul sits with what his agent said. So I think, listen, from knowing Paul, he wants to play football. He wants to be as fulfill the potential and be as good as he can and win trophies. That's all that he cares about. He may be of the mind that my agent's speaking, he can say what he wants, but at the end of the day, my situation will get sorted out. I'm cool. And he doesn't hear the noise from the fans and whatnot. That may be the way he sits, and that might just be fine for him. So that's it. But some fans won't accept that, won't want that, and would want it to have more clarity and whatnot. But you can never have a perfect scenario when it comes to this type of thing.
But does it
He's
cause a
grief
problem?
at the ground, man? And it don't sit right with me with that, giving our own players grief. But he's getting grief at the ground. We saw it at the end of, was it last season or the season before? When the players are doing the lap at the end of the game, and his fans abusing Pogba, like, sort your contract out, what are you doing? Why are you trying to leave? And
I had that, didn't I? When my contract wasn't signed, when I was negotiating my contract with Chelsea. So I didn't come out at the time and say what was going on because I was mid-negotiation.
Wait, say that again. It sounded like you said you were trying to what?
I was negotiating a contract to United.
Oh, because you said
in that time.
Okay, yeah.
I got linked with Chelsea.
Okay, yeah. Got you.
And everyone, all the fans were, even the fans, we went and played Charlton away. My own fans were booing me after the game. But I was mid-negotiation, and I was like, well, I'm negotiating like anybody else will, so just give me that time to actually do it. Then I end up signing, and then everything's fine, and everything gets swept under the carpet. The problem you've got is that Paul and Man United haven't got to the table and got to a decision. The club don't know what Paul wants to do, it seems, and Paul's just keeping his cards close to his chest, but he's well within his rights to do that. That's part of negotiation. That's part of this process. And now the club have allowed it probably to get to a position where they don't hold the cards. Does
that affect? I'm careful here because I don't want to put words into people's mouths, but does that affect the changing room by any chance?
I think that the players would want to know. If I was in the changing room, I'll be going to Paul, like, what's going on, man? You staying or you going? Because I want the club to be able to go and invest that money into someone else then and get on the road and don't lose out because you ain't telling them. But at the same time, I'd be respecting Paul's position. If he did say, listen, I'm going to wait till the summer and just see what comes, I might still sign.
I've heard you talk, sometimes off camera and sometimes on camera, about mithering players, Ronaldo and that. What, are you signing? He's staying or what?
Yeah,
I think you get like a fan like that at times.
Huh?
I think you get like a fan like that at times. Is that normal though? Is everyone like that, or is that just you?
I don't know. You know what it is? The crux of it is I want to win. So the best players, I want to know, you staying or what? Are you committed? Cristiano, for probably 2 or 3 summers, there was rumours he's going to Madrid. Madrid are courting him. And I'll be going, Chris, we just won 2 Premier Leagues on the bounce and a Champions League, and we're in another final. Come on, man, you got to stay. Yeah, man, I'm going to stay. Coming up to the next summer, Chris, man, whoa, we've won 3 on the bounce now. We can do 4. We can break the record. We can do stuff that no one's done before. Come on, man. Yeah, really, man, I don't know. I promised I'd stay last year, but with the idea I might be able to go. And then you go, you know what? He's done so much for us. He's leaving as the best player in the world, the World Player of the Year. You can't argue.
Yeah.
But he's
and look, we're getting a replacement. We're never going to lose again.
No, but he's actually been transparent with us. And I think that was the key thing with Cristiano at that time. He wasn't like hiding behind anything or allowing his agent to speak out and all that stuff. It was very different. But the way the land is at the moment is very different. And I think with the agents are speaking more, players are probably speaking a bit less, and fans are having more of an opinion on things. So the landscape of the game is very different now to what it was in my time. So yeah, I don't think you can compare the Cristiano time with Paul Pogba.
Before I move on, I want to say
Rooney as well as Ronaldo.
Yeah, Rooney
was on him.
Yeah.
Before I move on, were players onto you? You know, when there was a bit of the negotiation stage, were there anyone that was coming up to you saying, "Rio, man, what's going on?" Or is this taking long? Who?
No, my negotiation didn't take long.
Oh, okay.
It's just because it came out and I was pictured with Peter Kenyon, who was the Chelsea CEO at the time, which was unfortunate. It was just like timing was appalling. But I wasn't talking to him about going to Chelsea. But he was meeting my agent at the time. But it's more like, I can't remember, a couple of players said, "What are you looking to go?" And I was like, "No, I'm negotiating."
Which players?
I think Neville said something to me. I think
you see Gary Neville being proper nosy like that.
Yeah, like, what's going on here? You getting off? Are you staying? What are you doing? I think I'm not sure who else would have. Quentin Fortune and people like that would have just asked me, like, in conversation, like, what's going on? Like, and I was like, listen, guys, I had to explain, like, myself to the lads, like, I ain't looking to go anywhere. I'm negotiating my deal. It's taken a bit. My negotiation at that time, I think, took 2.5, 3 months. I know people like Roy Keane took 6 months, 8, 9 months sometimes to negotiate. And that's normal. It takes that long sometimes, but because mine went public, then you end up getting judged for it.
Speaking about Roy Keane, looks like. What'd you say, mate?
Good segue.
Good segue. Brilliant, isn't it? Speaking about Roy Keane, man, Sunderland job, man. Man, like, do you fancy his chances there?
I'd just love to see him in it. I'd love to see him in there and have another go at it. I think I love watching him. He's very tongue in cheek. He plays a role in the studio now, which is good. But I'd like to see that character in and around a training ground and in press conferences up before and after games and see how he reacts again. And I think he's always wanted to get back into coaching and managing. I think that's always been. This has been a little bit of a sideline from a little hobby until an opportunity comes. I really hope he does, and I think he done all right there. I mean, he won the Football League Championship at Sunderland in 06, 07. And he's somebody, I think, that he's got the charisma, he's got the profile, and it's about proving himself. Has he got the ability now?
I think profile is never the question. Steve, with his style, the way he talks, obviously it's funny on Sky Sports and that, but does that work in today's football, in your opinion? Like, does it?
It does, yeah.
I'm not talking about for Stretford Paddock. I'm talking about for Sunderland, mate.
Yeah, I think it does, yeah. I think he did a really good job with Sunderland the first time round. And I think he lost his job because he's Roy Keane. And rather than having a conversation about what an issue was, I think it was the owner had a problem with him. I think they'd gone for a bit of a change of owners at the time. We've all seen the Sunderland Till I Die documentary. You can have your own thoughts and comments on those people as owners. But I think throughout getting them promoted, and I think their first season in the Premier League, he was still living in Manchester and commuting. And it was one of the owners had an issue with him commuting. He's like, why is it an issue now that we're not winning as many games when we won the league with this sort of arrangement? And Roy Keane being Roy Keane told him to stick it up his arse, I think, rather than try and come to some sort of arrangement with it. So I don't think he did a bad job, and I don't think he was sacked under the normal sort of circumstances that you get sacked for poor performance. And I hope he can go and do it again. I think you need characters like Roy Keane. And like Rio says, he's playing a bit of a character on TV. He clearly can't be that sort of a psychopath and be a successful manager. And I don't think he is that sort of a psychopath. And like I mentioned to Rio before we went on air, if you read his book, Second Half, I think he learned a lot from Martin O'Neill, which was following the Sunderland thing. I think he really respected Martin O'Neill in a big, big way. And he talks about some of the things that Martin does and the way he handles players, and he'll have matured a little bit as well. He'll have seen some more stuff being in the studio. I think Roy Keane could go and do well here. And I'm looking forward to seeing Roy Keane as a manager as well, again.
I think, you know what, a big thing with Roy, obviously being in the change room with him and getting to know him to a certain degree, it's just the way sometimes he'd approach situations. There was no seatbelt. There was no precaution. There was no caution. There was no
seatbelt.
There was no let me just approach it this way with a little bit of softness on it. Everything was really like
direct.
Hard and direct and cold, and sometimes very, very, it could get personal with certain things. And just today's footballer ain't going to accept that. They're not going to accept it. They're just not going to respond in the way that you need them to on a football pitch. Players are wired very differently and brought up, groomed, if you like, in a very different way. They don't have maybe the same capacity to deal with stuff like that, which is so forceful and direct, and again, can sometimes have that vicious undertone or tone to it. And that's something that you'd like to think with the time he's had, like Steve said, in the media, time to reflect, that he may change that approach slightly if he's going to be able to go in there and really fulfill the potential I'm sure he feels he has as a manager.
Did you have any experiences with him where he like said something that's a bit mad and you thought, that's a bit, or were you used to it by then?
We had a couple of our little flashes together. I think in the League Cup final, we had a little thing on the way off for that game. We had a little argument in the tunnel and stuff.
About what?
Just about the game. To be fair, you know what? One of the funny ones with me was like, I remember in training, I've said this before, I was in training and one of my first sessions, I got the ball. You're just trying to play your way into a session. You just knew at the club, you're nervous anyway in training. Mm-hmm. The ball come to me. I played the ball out to Gary Neville. He's next to me, like 15 yards away. And I just remember Roy, the game's going on. He just turned around and just started screaming, "Why are you passing it safe? You ain't at West Ham or Leeds now. You're at Man United. Take some risks." And I was like, "Bruv, I've just passed it to a red shirt, to guy in my team. What are you talking about? I've just kept possession. What are you chatting about?" I didn't say that. I just thought that. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then left it. It played like for about, I swear, a couple of weeks. I'm thinking, this guy's mad. Yeah. Like, he's chatting rubbish. And then it dawned on me that actually, to win, you need to take risks. Mm-hmm. So me just keeping on playing safety and safe balls to Gary Neville all the time, I'm not adding anything when we've got the ball. So that's when you start looking at your midfielders. You're looking beyond the midfielders to the number 10 position. You're looking to Giggsy on the left wing. You're looking to Ruben Nistelrooy now, looking further afield as your first thought and your first option, rather than getting the ball and your first option being safe, Gary. My first option then started becoming, where can I affect the game? Can I make the other midfielders have to turn around now and change the way that their angles, etc., when I get it? So he helped me in that sense. But it's being able to understand when sometimes people are screaming and shouting stuff at you and just don't take it personal. I think that's a big thing for young players, is that sometimes they get shouted at or screamed at by an older player or a player in the dressing room or the manager, and they automatically sometimes, in my day as well, and sometimes, and probably now I'm sure, is they think, "Oh, why are you doing that to me? Why are you being, that's vindictive, that's like, you're picking on me." Yeah. No. People normally only shout at you when they care, or if they feel that you can help them. Yeah. That's the way.
Care about something.
I used to always say that to young players, and because you get a sense of, you can see the vibe that comes off a player immediately when you shout at them, a look or whatever. And if I ever felt that a player was feeling like that, I'd always approach them after the session, the young lads especially. "Listen, I ain't shouting you for no reason. If I didn't shout at you, you bet that's when you start worrying, because that means I think you've got no value.
You don't care."
Do you know what I mean?
You had something like that with Zaha, didn't you? Like, it was a bit tough. I know you guys get on really well and stuff like that, but you had to hash it out and talk about it afterwards, innit? Was it when he came, you saw the potential, but What did you want more from him at the time?
I think Wilf, yeah, it's mad. Wilf, I used to be on him every training session. I used to always scream at him, shouting at him, defend, get back, blah blah. And he was like, well, Sancho don't defend or whatever. And I was like, no, you're not that.
And he will talk back as well, innit?
Yeah,
Wilf.
he will go, no, but he wants to learn, he wants to win, he wants to be a better player. Don't get me wrong, but he just at that time he was maybe a little bit immature, didn't know how to vent how he felt.
Yeah.
And with time, I'm sure that he would say, you know what, actually, it was good to hear that maybe from me at the time. But it just wasn't received the right way, or maybe I didn't give it to him the way that he could accept it and take it. So on both sides, there could have been a bit of improvement, I'm sure. But like Wilf, I still say that Wilf should have been playing top 4 team. No disrespect to Palace, a great club, and he's found his home. But yeah, an Arsenal or something, even Man United, if he was handled differently, I think. By maybe representatives who repped him as well at the time, the football club itself, people within the football club. I think he could have, he could have stayed and really done something.
Man. Some lessons in there, you know.
What?
There's some lessons in there. You talking to Wilf, Keno talking to you. There's definitely some lessons to be had in both of those. There's clearly a message, but maybe the delivery in both instances, maybe it could have been better. No, you've gone away thinking, why is he having a go at me? He isn't having a go at you. He's demanding a higher standard.
Exactly. And that's why a lot of my mates say, Ria, I don't think you could come and work in a club as a coach or something like that now, because the way that I used to shout all the time, and you'd say stuff that's quite unforgiving, and just like people would go, well, in an office, that wouldn't be accepted. HR would be in there immediately and you'd be out. But at the time, and the emotion and the desire and the will to win, you say what comes into your mouth immediately, into your head, you go bang. And because you ain't got time for people to start unpicking an incident or situation. I want a reaction now.
Get on with it now.
Right, so I'm saying exactly what you need to hear. And if you don't like it, and you ain't going to help us on the way, you can do one. See you later. Someone else will come in. We've got other people that come in and play and will listen and take on that information. But yeah, I think in today's game, more than ever, the delivery of what you're saying is huge.
So how the flip do you win then? Because you do this and you're too harsh, but yet the people who are strong and harsh, they're the ones winning all the trophies. Because I'll tell you for free, Pep Guardiola ain't sugarcoating stuff up.
Yeah, but it's the way you deliver it.
And neither's Klopp.
It's the way you deliver it, and then it's also you've got to get on a rhythm of winning. You can be as hard as you like. If you're not winning, that ain't getting any information. That don't matter if it's Pep or not. If you start losing games and all the information you're delivering, and with the velocity and the
it's all a bit
ferocity that you're putting it in with, players will shut down and go, whoa, you don't even know what you're talking about. We're getting beat every week.
Yeah.
Don't care if you're Pep or if you're Klopp. But these guys, they know how to win. That breeds confidence, and that then breeds an understanding of actually, I'm going to get on that boat with you guys, and I'm going to keep rowing with you, no matter how you talk to me, how you deliver it. Still has to be delivered in the right way. The messaging has to be right as well.
If you're winning, it's different.
But you need all of those thick components together to have a chance of making sure that everybody stays on board.
Because we've seen him, Steve.
Isn't this Fergie's method, though?
Yeah.
Like you look at Fergie's, from the outside, you look at Fergie's and you go, don't know if he'd survive in today's thingy with how intense he was. But he wasn't intense every day, was he?
No, but the greatness of Sir Alex Ferguson was that he didn't treat everybody the same. Yeah, he had that side to him, but he would pick people out that he knew that could accept that bit of fire, but knowing that bit of fire on that person over there would have a positive effect on these guys over here. So I'm going to hit you because you can take it, but I want to see the reaction from them. And so...
Not like Giggs used to get hammered.
Yeah, Giggs, Wazza used to get it. I'd get it sometimes. The experienced players normally in the change room would get a little bit so that he would see other people give a reaction what he wanted.
Man, because I'm seeing Pep like, sit down, shut up, nobody's big, nobody's big.
Raw.
Like just...
And that's why I get frustrated when I hear coaches going, "Oh, you couldn't coach today because you can't talk to them like that." And I'm thinking, but the top managers, I know that these guys are drilling people.
Isn't that half the problem then? It's finding the players who've got the winning mentality and weeding out the ones with the soft mentality. You know, if your first reaction is, "Can't talk to me like that, I'm getting on the phone to my agent."
Yeah, but that's most people, Steve. Steve, that's most people. That's what's mad.
Society today. You go into an office today and someone walks past you and brushes past you the wrong way, You're in HR in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
It's different, man. It's different vibes.
Oh, man.
Add it to my file. Keep walking.
Yeah.
But listen, I promise you, this ain't all Man United, man. We're talking FA Cup, we're talking AFCON Final and everything.
Can we just talk AFCON Final, please?
I want to talk AFCON Final, but we got to give it the proper time. Before then, I was going to say Wayne Rooney. He's got his doc coming out with Amazon, innit?
Yeah.
And yeah, so for me, basically, I mean, I'm going to ask you personal questions, yeah, but I'm hearing rumors, yeah, that you were the person who squashed the issue between him and Ronaldo after the Euros, or after the World Cup, my bad, sorry.
Yeah, I was. I don't know if I squashed it. I think they'd done that by themselves together, but I was the one who got them together.
Okay. Was it
I
straight?
don't know how
when,
it happened.
when and where?
It was on the
Hang on.
coaching.
Go a bit further back. Was there actually an issue?
So immediately afterwards, Wazza was hot in the change room, and then I think a few people got to him and said to him, "No, it's not as you might think it is. It's not like that." And then by the time we'd got in the shower, then we got onto the coaches. I think Cristiano pulled me and said, "Ree, can you go and get Wayne?" Like, I sort of talk to him and tell him that I didn't mean anything by it. And if it's not, there's no
Malice.
animosity or malice in what I'd done. So we're both from the same team. I'd never do that. He's my boy. He's my guy. So I went and got Waz and said, "Listen, Chris wants to talk to you." Got him off the coach and then put them together. From that point, I didn't say anything else. I let them just deal with it like men.
Wow. Just to let you guys know, Rooney's documentary is coming out on the 11th of February. I'm looking forward to that, man. Personal struggles and everything. But
I've heard by real close to the documentary filming, the guy who's involved in it, it was the guy who done my documentaries.
Yeah.
Real good guy. That is unreal.
Listen, I've seen the trailer. You're in the trailer, man.
Yeah, because
Come on, big man.
Do A-listers, isn't it?
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We love it. Love to see it. All right, let's talk about AFCON Final.
Wow.
Listen, man. Can we give a round of applause? You don't have to, yeah, but for me, I have to for Mr. Sadio Mane, man. This, honestly, man, it was obviously
Senegal.
It was painted out as, you know.
I thought it was. Oh, I'd just like to.
Go on.
I'm giving the best goalkeeper in the world some flowers.
Yeah.
I obviously got a reputation to maintain. Mane, well done, but listen, this is for Mendy.
Nah, yeah, that's a big one as well. Oh my gosh, man.
Koulibaly, they got some big players. Man.
Honestly, man, I'm proper happy for them. And
that's Senegal's first international win.
Yeah, trophy.
Yeah, it's their first one for AFCON. Did you watch it, Steve?
Nope. I was watching my Skybox tell me that it couldn't get a signal. I was watching about 5 seconds in every 30.
I watched it. Why?
Yeah. Now I just want to say, when you saw Mane miss the penalty, right? The first one.
I thought Egypt were going to win.
Yeah. You thought so?
Yeah, I just thought that it was just like one of those signs. You see Salah have a little bit of influence, it seemed. Mane misses the penalty. It's the club rivalry at Liverpool. Everything's going so well for Salah. He always comes out on top. And it didn't. And they had the resilience to stay in and come, and they got to penalties, and you just thought, wow. And you know what? Again, big shout out to Carlos Queiroz as well as Egypt manager. Yes, they were fairly defensive, and that's his style of coaching and management. That's the way he is, and that's what he was great at Man United. He helped us, but I really wanted him for him. If I had any personal attachment to the competition, I would love to have seen him get his hands on it, but unfortunately they didn't. But I'm as pleased for the guys at Senegal. Listen, I'm fortunate enough to be able to travel around the world and go to parts of Africa. And I know from being in different parts of Africa how much football means to these people. It is an absolute obsession. In Africa, the continent of Africa, it's only Asia who rival them in terms of the fanatical behavior that you get when you land in that country. When you land somewhere like that, it is absolute pandemonium. They've got football kits for you to sign. They've got little dolls and little things that they've made for you. They've got like hats with your name and number. It is madness. Did you see Rudiger the other day?
Listen, but
where did he go the other day?
I don't know, but these guys are superstars out there, though.
No, I know.
But Senegal, I think, one of that.
But they go in England. They go to Germany. They go to France. They go in there. They walk into an airport. You get a few pictures here and there and an autograph. You do a selfie. You land in Africa.
Yeah, I know. It's
and
mad.
It is like the Beatles back in the day has turned up. MJ's turned up.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, no, it's a huge thing. Yeah, it's a huge thing. I've seen when you were out there, like
A-list,
I just thought, raw, like you're getting more than the average piece of love out here,
Joel,
man. Like,
who was it you was working for? Was it Cameroon?
Nah, who me? No, I went out there with Kanu and in
No,
Nigeria.
not to Africa. You was working. Was it Cameroon you was working for though?
No.
The Confed Cup.
Nah, not me.
Joel,
not me,
Joel.
mate. But yeah, no, even when I went out there, and obviously massive shout out to Kanu, we appreciate him as a footballer, what he's done for the game. But when you go to Africa, at one point, I turned around and I apologized to him, man. I said, listen, I'm sorry, man. Like, I didn't know
how big
you was that guy. Like him, JJ Okocha, when those guys are in the same environment, like you've got to shut everything down. Like it felt like at some point, yeah, I even saw him get frustrated. And he's a real cool character, but people were blocking the cars. Like we was in this Jeep and we had like security in the front and back, and you just can't move. I'm sure when you were there, you need protection, man, because they're just, and it's love, but it gets wild, man.
Like even that, for instance, in Nigeria, especially, like you go there and you have your own security with the commercial company that you go there with, which is like normally it's people from this country that you take with you. You have local security team. So the local security team, I forget the name of it. It's a guy, the biggest arms I've ever seen. Shout out my guy from Nigeria. Arms. He must be called Arms. I forget his name. Yeah. His company, and they kind of govern it and say you can't go in this area without us. You have to, if you've got to come with us. That's local. And then you have army. The army as well.
Yeah.
Come out and they're carrying guns and stuff like that.
24/7 and that.
And you have like a entourage of about 50 people, like cars all filled up and Jeeps, 4x4s, probably about a 10 car, like it's mad. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is all for me.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Thinking,
it's crazy.
I'm not that guy.
Nah, you are.
It is the football, the way it travels like that, and especially in places like Africa, it's amazing. And so to see that the focus and attention that AFCON got and the respect that it needs and deserves was great to see in the end, especially after the way the tournament started.
And next time we have the AFCONs going on, we're going to get some experts, people such as yourselves watching to come on and help us out a little bit. So thank you very much. We got the emails and the messages. We loved it. Steve, just to focus on that a little bit, you spoke about Mendy, yeah? First goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet in AFCON final and UEFA Champions League final. AFCON best goalkeeper, and like you said, surely the best goalkeeper in the world, right?
Who comes close to him currently? Exactly. Don't talk to me about Ederson because he's got a good kick on him. Shut up. When it comes to goalkeeping, it's Mendy, and it's not even close. I think
I agree with Steve. I think if I was picking a goalkeeper right now in the world, I think my top three keepers that I would pick now. And maybe people will say you're biased because you're Premier League, but it would be Mendy, Ederson, and on form right now, De Gea.
Wow.
Because they're
think he's back up there, yeah?
Yeah, you look at De Gea's going to get Man United Player of the Year. He's had to put in some saves, put in some work to get that. Not that Man United Player of the Year means a whole load of things, but I'm saying, how many goalkeepers do you only see win Player of the Year at their football clubs? Don't happen.
You've done it a few times in this post-Fergie era, innit?
It's like, but you have to be performing to be talked about in that. And listen, he went through a rocky period, but he's come out of that with a character. But that one will be debatable for a lot of people. But I think Mendy stands out for me, especially in this last year. He has been impeccable.
Phenomenal, man. Phenomenal.
He's not just performing saves. He's like winning games.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he's behind a great defense that he has nothing to do either. I mean, he's behind a pretty decent defense, but he's still making hard saves. He's still pulling out. That's what reminded me. The two greatest keepers I've seen at United, Schmeichel and Van der Sar. Van der Sar looked like he was always in control, always knew the right thing to do. Didn't look like he made spectacular saves. A bit like Rio never made those match of the day style tackles because he was just in good positioning. Like that's
last ditch tackles mean you've made a mistake somewhere in the chain before that.
This is Micah Richards and John Terry's territory. Yeah, that's position making mad last ditch tackles.
But that's rude though because you were graced with the pace, right? Not just the positioning ability, but the pace to even make up for it. Don't you think that's coming from a bit of a bias angle? Because some people, they're not going to be as fast as you. And them being in the right. And I'm not here telling Rio how to defend. Calm down, people. But I'm just saying we need to, take into consideration your natural attributes.
Lauren Blanc's not beating your granddad in a foot race, but he's getting to the right spot because he reads the game so well.
It's smelling the danger before it happens. If you can see, it's like a snooker player. If you can see 1 or 2 shots down the line, then you've got a chance of stopping it and being in the right place to stop it before it even becomes a problem. And sometimes just standing in a certain positioning yourself in a particular area of the pitch prevents the ball even being passed for you to have to defend. Some people don't get into that position. The ball gets played in there. They're now having to recover. So, yeah, obviously I had pace to sometimes get me out of situations, but I didn't rely on my pace to defend.
That's true. Who do you reckon is the closest player you would compare yourself to? That's a sick question, by the way, Joel. Flipping it, Joel.
In today's game, I think... I don't know. Do you know what? Tip-top Varane would have been similar because he was graceful. He was quick, but not often you look at Varane and go, oh my God, did you see how quick he is? He's got it there.
Yeah.
But his positional sense didn't mean that he had to use it all the time.
Real Madrid Varane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't judge him yet in Manchester. But Van Dijk elements, I'd say.
Yeah.
I've just sent you a video of Van Dijk in the WhatsApp group. Have a look at that because I'm not having them comparisons ever again.
Oh, mate, we ain't got time to be. It's not come through.
It's only 14 seconds long.
It's not come through. Connection's difficult here. We'll check it out later.
But it's difficult to say that a player's like, oh, that's you. Everyone's different. Eras are very different. So the game's changed as well.
Yeah. But you're saying Varane, Van Dijk, that's where you see yourself.
Yeah, listen, today's game, I'm not going for no less than 180 million.
Come on. That's good to hear.
That's the going rate.
Man.
Nothing less.
And that's not
today's rate.
And that's not
today's price.
Yeah, it's not the same as yesterday's price. And on top of that, that's Rio speaking, not his agent. Flipping it, man. Miss Vibe with 5, Guys, make sure you press the like button. Get your comments in. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We're so happy to be back doing this. I'm not saying we went away, but you know what I mean. All right, let's focus on the FA Cup real quick.
Have you got that video?
Yeah, I'm watching it now. But you could pick those type of situations out of every single player and you could produce a meme clip like that.
Steve
sent us a clip there hammering Van Dijk. I'm not having it.
Well done.
Well, you can't defend it though, can you?
Yeah, but every single player in the world, you could pick out like problems in their game and go, oh, look at that clip there. He looks horrendous. I'd have loads.
It's true.
You know I be vibe with 5. Wynts, Sampa and the beat, let's go. First month of the year done, got like 4 months left. All lies on the top of the table, City been gliding, coasting best. See a couple deals in the window, Ali got the moves to the Blues. Big Frank's been busy, needed a right hand and Ashley come through. Aubameyang got the deal with Barca, the comments after. Gotta be my way or the highway from Mikel. Bro's what he really rather. Big shout out to Ericsson, see now he's back in the game. Best signing for Brentford, now staying in the Prem with the aim.
I also want to look at Everton versus Brentford because that's the game that I saw. Man, Frank Lampard, that's a good start for him, man.
Great start. Tricky game that as well, by the way.
4-1
Brentford. Yeah. It's a convincing win. I think the acid test is going to be this weekend. I think they're playing, this week, they're playing against Newcastle this week. So that's a huge game, 6 pointer at the bottom of the league there. So
it actually is.
Yeah, it is. So he needs to make sure he gets some positive results there.
That just shows you how bad Rafa Benitez is, man.
He didn't do a good job there, man. It was good to see your guy Holgate as well. He's back in the team. I'm seeing him back in the team a lot more.
Yeah, he's playing. I think him, Michael Keane, and Ben Godfrey started at the back. Players that I have a good connection with. Ben actually got injured. Actually pulled his hammy, but it's. I think Frank. I think it's that bounce. The new manager bounce has come in straight away. That needs to carry on if they're going to have any positivity towards the end of the season. I'm sure I'll be looking to build with Delhi, with Donny van der Beek going in there as well. So 2 good acquisitions, I think.
He knows how to really get the crowd pumping, innit? As soon as the goal's coming, he turns around and goes,
I think that's a stadium that feeds off of the players. Listen, the fans in there are fantastic at Goodison. I always remember that, loud, etc. But they really feed off the players and the manager. If If you give them fans at Everton, at Goodison Park, something to shout about, they will absolutely back that team.
They got some good players as well, man. I think Everton, man, they shouldn't be anywhere near where they are. I'm looking forward to see how a lot of their players develop. You got Ed Townsend. He goes, the manager has given us belief. He obviously looked at the stats and possession wise this season, and we've not been good enough. So yeah, someone like him coming in, what do you reckon Frank can add?
I think it's that new way of playing. Rafa comes in, he has a particular way of playing, a bit pragmatic, probably a little less offensive to someone like Frank, who wants to dominate the ball a bit more. And that probably suits the profile of players that he's got there. A lot of them are more comfortable when they're in possession. So it's a big ask, but Frank's going to have to do something by the end of this season to warrant the regime there of investing again. They've invested a hell of a lot of money in this squad.
It's true.
Yeah, they haven't got a deep enough squad. That's their problem. And I think in midfield they're light, and they haven't had the legs in midfield to really be able to get around teams and get amongst teams and hurt teams. You've got a front two that consists of Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Listen, you've got a chance in all games, mate, because them two are very different but pose big problems.
Good player.
Midfield's good enough. They're solid all over the place. Better than Arsenal.
The midfield, I think, is the weakness in their team.
Really?
For me, yeah. Well, now with Dele and Donny van der Beek, you'd presume that's going to be a bit different. But
that's much different, man.
You look at the midfield, Decore is out for 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He's a miss.
He's a miss.
Yeah, big miss. He's the only one in that midfield before them two signed with the legs to be able to get around the pitch. Gomez, his best attribute isn't moving, isn't running. Alan the same. So two good acquisitions. They need to hit the ground running.
Steve, do you reckon their first 11's better than Arsenal's first 11?
I don't reckon.
No.
I know.
No, it ain't.
Of course it is.
It's an argument.
I was thinking that. That's
just
right.
Defense alone.
When they're all fit. Sorry, when they're all fit, I'd take the front two at Everton before the front two at Arsenal.
100%.
You're taking now they've lost Luca Dean. That's a blow at left back, but the entire defense you would have took.
I'll take the two wide players at Arsenal before any Everton wide players.
That's fair as well.
Martinelli and Saka. Emil
Smith-Rowe gets in there as well. Gabriel.
Debatable.
Gabriel.
I don't think he's better than when they're all. We've got to think about them all at their top. Yeah, when they're playing to their. I don't think he's better than Godfrey and Holgate.
I don't think he's better than Godfrey, but he's better.
He's not more reliable than Keane, I wouldn't say.
Keane's got more experience, but I don't know, man.
I think I'd take the fullbacks at Arsenal.
Yeah. Tomiyasu.
Turney's definitely going to walk into that now. But Turney might be the only one in that defence that you even think about.
Tomiyasu as well, right back.
Tomiyasu's good, man. Oh, get out of here, Steve, man. Anyway, what else have you seen?
That's the Arsenal for the week, guys. That's the Arsenal chat for the week.
Yeah, we didn't kick no ball this week.
Well,
Steve,
why not, Joel?
What'd you say?
Why didn't you play this weekend?
Same reason why you're not going to play in a few weekends yourself, mate. Yeah, same reason. Did you see any other games?
We won in the Rhodes Cup third round.
Who? Sorry.
Stretford.
Oh, yeah, flipping. What's his name? Harvey Elliott for Liverpool. Liverpool versus Cardiff City.
Joel. Good shout.
That was 3-1. Excellent stuff.
Do you know what?
Was that his first goal?
Yeah, I've been waiting for him. Did you see the reaction of his dad on?
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, he's that emotion because of what his son's gone through as well.
Yeah.
Gone to a big club, just getting in. Went on loan to Blackburn, done really well. Came back, just getting in around the first team at Liverpool. Gets a big injury, and then he's thinking, "Oh, my son, like it's hard road, man." You see his son fall down, you want to help him get back up, and then he comes back in and scores. And I messaged him when he got injured actually at the time, and just to say like wish him well and keep his chin up and whatnot. We'd love to have you on, by the way, Harvey. I'd love to listen to you and speak about your story and your journey up to now. But I think this kid's got a huge future. I mean, that's quite stating the obvious a little bit, but I think he's going to be one of the stand-up English players definitely in the years to come. Yeah,
real talent. Man City doing what they do, smashing up Fulham. Shout out to Jake, you guys.
Kidderminster with your old boys. Nearly did them.
Yeah, against West Ham, man. Like,
did you see Did you see Declan Rice?
What? And the celebration.
Michael Jackson.
Come on.
Did you see the goal, man? That was Stevie Gerrard.
Proper. Yeah.
And Mark Noble was on here last week. If you haven't watched the interview, go back and watch it, guys. I told you earlier.
Plugging it.
But he said, I don't know if he said on camera or in the office back there, that he was talking about Declan and saying, like, he said to me that day, see, listen, I see elements of Gerrard in the way he plays. Like, you haven't seen it as much in games, but in training on a regular basis, I see Gerrard in him where he can go from one box to the other with the ball or without it and just change it the way the game's going. And he's introducing that more into his game. And in that game, he came on and changed the dynamic of the whole game. And then the goal just icing on the cake.
Yeah, man. A shout out to Kidderminster as well, because
they were hard.
6-tier side, like, honestly, man, like they did a really, really good job there. I'm just rattling through now. Obviously, Chelsea beat Plymouth. That was kind of tight as well, it was tighter than it's done. But I'm trying to give a shout out to these, to these other teams.
Spurs beating Brighton was a big result.
Yeah, it's true.
Boreham Wood.
Yeah,
that was a big one, innit? That was huge, man.
That's the thing. He's absolutely flying at the moment.
That's the thing about the FA Cup, mate. He just gives other people chances, man. I just love. That's what we all love about it. It's just to see people that you would never dream of seeing on the same pitch as these big superstars. Yeah, and winning is like that's what the FA Cup's about.
That championship table's tight, man.
Ooh.
Like even though Bournemouth would beat Bournemouth, they could be coming up this year. You got
They're
them.
in a bad way, Bournemouth, by the way. They're a bad run. At the moment.
I can't lie. Yeah, I can't lie. I'm not watching it like that. But when you look at the table, I'm seeing them, QPR,
they were way
Huddersfield.
Ahead. They were way ahead for ages. And Scott Parker's there he was doing a great job early on, but they fell off a little bit. But then you've got like Chris Wilder, Middlesbrough come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the playoffs, I'm sure.
Obviously, Fulham should
go up.
Yeah.
We've got Mitrovic on fire. You're going to probably break the record for goals in the championship. We're fully abreast of the championship, guys. Do not ever doubt that.
You are. I'm working on it. You know what? Yeah. Besides that, you had Burnley versus Watford. To me, that was like a bit of a ball draw. Sorry,
it's a great result for Newcastle. That.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Burnley sat in last place with. They sit in last place with 13 points. Bro, they're going down. In my opinion, they're gone. They're gone. So. They're out of it.
I agree. I don't agree with much you say, Joel, to be fair, but I do agree with that.
No, it's true. I think that's fair. I don't agree with what I say sometimes as well, but yeah, it's true. What do we have coming out this week? We've got Gazzetta dello 5. That's probably going to be coming out on Wednesday, guys.
Fabrizio Romano.
Yes, he's here talking. And even though the transfer window's done, we've still had quite a few interesting conversations and things to bring up. So please watch out for that.
I'm doing 3 games this week, so I'm sure we'll have a little bit of content to show you from them 3 games or something like that. Or I might be going to the Wayne Rooney premiere of his new show that's coming out.
Yeah.
I'll try to get to that as well.
Yeah.
So there's loads coming out. What else?
Must have no signal, me then.
You know what? We got quite a few stuff coming out, but we're keeping it in a little bit. We've got new shows coming that we're developing. I just want you guys to know that this is a platform with equality and we give everyone an opportunity. So sometimes you might see some guys and you might, what's going on here? We're trying to give everyone a voice, man. We're trying to try things out and just trying to, you've given me an opportunity, Steve.
Yeah, I think also if you go back, a lot of this cancel culture that's kind of become very apparent and normal now in society, I think is quite frightening and scary. And it's a scary place to be because I think if we look back in the past of every single person on this planet, a lot of people will be very wary about coming out and being open.
Sure.
And everybody will have something to hide. So being these very judgmental and kind of cancel culture people, I think can be a very, very uneasy place to be. And I think it's sometimes quite unfair. I think everybody's entitled to their opinion on things. Yes, you need to be mindful of others, but to expect people to live and breathe in that cancel culture where people just immediately cancel because of something that happened many years ago or a while ago can be quite a dangerous territory for people to be in. So we're very mindful of that. And I think, again, just to reiterate what you said, we're an open platform.
Very open platform. We shouldn't be hypocritical people, but, like I keep saying, 5, it's a fun place, man. We're trying things out,
People make mistakes, man.
Yeah.
People are going to make mistakes and will continue to make mistakes. And does everybody have to be cancelled for every single mistake they made? As long as there's that feeling of, there's that reflection and, actually responsibility is taken for certain actions, I think that we have to move forward with life.
And just to wrap it up, I mean, we're like I'm saying, we try different things, you know what I mean? We're going to be trying a debate show again soon. We're going to see what we're going to do with it, but we're not afraid, you know, we're trying different pieces of content. So support us, people, you know, we're here to bring joy to you, you know, we're not doing it for ourselves. Rio doesn't need to do it, you know, I need to do it, you know, I'm not going to lie, but, you know, so please support us. Steve's here as well. We're really putting in our time and our effort, and we want to make you guys happy from all clubs. It's not just United fans. I know we love a United chat. But, you know, for all clubs. So, yeah, that's it. Cool. All right. Rio.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
Steve, get back to bed and we'll speak to you soon,
your bedroom, mate. Yeah. YouTuber. Yeah. And we'll speak to you guys soon. Peace.